our second Hayabusa for the day.
Second Hayabusa.
It's our second Hayabusa for the day. I'd like to think now it just comes down to execution, sir.
Okay.
It just comes down to execution. How do they utilize what they got away with in the draft? Because I'll tell you now, I'm impressed. I really like what Zeta Division brought to the table.
Do we have, or would we expect the way that Zeta Division, picked up? Do they want structure? Like, one thing's for sure, right? Influence Rage, they thrive in chaos, while Zeta, they want structure.
Okay, you're bringing in a very interesting question. I would like to answer that with another question.
Damn it.
Just so that we can get proper context. Structure in what sense, Eugene? Structure in terms of approaching team fights, structure in space, like I will be here, I know that they're coming from this angle, or structure in terms of their farming patterns, like, all right, in the early game, I'm going to try to snowball onto the Haya, I'm going to try to work into, so is that the question?
That, yes. So I'm looking at kind of like a tempo thing, right? Because if you want structure, you know that something works for you. By minute 1, I want something. By minute 2, I want something else. And generally, if the game goes well and we manage to hit certain breakpoints or certain milestones by that timing, we know that this direction or this draft is gonna work.
I think, yes, the answer is yes. You know why? It's very clear that there's a lot of pressure on that early aggression from the mid-trio. Farsa, Gatot, Hayabusa. Snowball on the Hayabusa. Try to kill the Zetian as often as you can. If you're going for gold lane rotations, take down that 1-1 and then snowball into victory. If that doesn't work out, at least you know that the upper quarter of your map where the Uranus is isn't ruined, isn't hurting, because I mean if you're losing the lane as a Uranus, that's on you. You know what I mean? So there's a lot on June 1 here to make sure that pattern in that order is kept.
Okay, so now the final pick is in. We have Influence Rage with the final pick onto the CC, effectively putting the Badang in the room.
It's a Cicino.
It's a Cicino.
It's a Cicino. Okay, with this much we expected. Again, maybe
they want an answer to the Uranus in lane.
Half a dozen times we've mentioned how Badang now is more often played in the
roam position.
And you're right. It's there to, again, at least go toe-to-toe against the Uranus. I'd say in the early game, it hurts. Like, as the Uranus, like, please stop throwing yo-yos at me.
No.
But eventually, when fights start to break out and when there's bigger rotations, the Uranus can then find something else to do. Like, you don't always just have to catch yo-yos in the face.
There will be a lot of macro plays that I would like to believe, because this is, I would like to believe that Japan would be slightly similar to Singapore's playstyle, a lot more macro. In fact, Philippines playstyle as well. A lot macro, a lot structure-oriented kind of thing. While Influence Rage, they want to be in your face. They want to do whatever that they can to, grind the gears of Zeta.
Okay, you know what? For the former, I would like to hear your opinion, but now look at this. Chino forcing a revitalize out of June 1 early on, not even a minute through game 1. Welcome to Landon. It's Zeta Division versus Influence Rage. Our first match out of Group B, a best of 3. Is Kani in June 1. What are they going to do against Chino here? Chino's winning, by the way.
Yeah.
Here goes Makito.
Kani even used up the Revitalize just to make sure that June 1 stays in the game and uphold all of that Radiant stack as much as possible. He's still in lane, though. He's still in game. He's fine.
Okay, so half of our thesis statement checks out. Influence Rage wants to fight. They want to be in your face, and they want to force a response. In Zeta Division, they're bringing out a response. They've sent over Kani, and Kani's working on that XP lane crab. I think he served it up to June 1. How about gold? Let's talk about the gold lane. Muiminet versus a Fury here. Fury, wait, hold up. Fury only uses Inspire. What?
Yes, but it doesn't seem like Muiminet is having any problem. Or maybe he went home already. I would like to assume that he went home already because he suffered quite a lot. But speaking of suffer, Kani is going to be suffering by the hands of Hodun. And just like that, first blood over to Influence Rage.
Hodun punishing Zeta's half engagement. Because again, the Feather Airstrike came out of 10, but there wasn't enough damage to begin with to capitalize on the early pickoff. So Influence Rage, they're playing to their tempo. They're getting what they want.
They're slowly inching on. But one thing's for sure that Influence Rage, they are naturally a very aggressive team. But looking at the current draft, they definitely have got good scaling all the way to the later stages of the game. Early game, at least we have Chino that will be able to pave a way to ensure that the Uranus is gonna be kept in check.
Yep, he still has his Revitalize that came off of cooldown after the first minute of engagement. A lot of damage on the June 1 right now. Pakita pushing him away. Hotun and the rest of Influence Rage gonna barrel away at the turtle.
Yep, they're just going to be going around it here. Kani as well as June 1, they are pretty tanky altogether, but in the meantime, the Fury of the Phoenix is just going to be popping up onto June as well as Kani, making sure that these tanky boys will not be able to do too much. But in the meantime, top lane and bottom lane, we are expecting to see quite a bit of action, with Chino finding himself taken down immediately right after the...
Zeta Division on the board. They do lose out on the turtle, but they get a kill onto Chino, punishing that CC for overextending. She did pop the Vengeance, but I guess there's just one enough return on that. All the while, I'm impressed. Abstract, look, not a single Revitalize used in that fight.
Not yet, yeah.
They just tanked it. Yeah.
Tanked it through. Honestly, normally I would much prefer to see a Uranus with the Vengeance. But never mind, because they are working with a double Revitalize tag, and I think that, this is the point in time where I think it's fine. Double Revitalize, let's go with it.
Was that just a Paquito combo on the Badang against Pasuke? He did not see that coming.
Even I didn't see that coming.
It happened so quickly.
Yeah, indeed. And I honestly didn't really quite realize that Zetian actually does wave clip pretty darn fast as well, with the 3 waves of Phoenixes just throwing right out over the creep. So good amount of, I would say, I think that we will be in a pretty good shape.
Yeah, Nukes is good, sir. Nukes is good. Up top, though, this is the part of the game where I think June 1 has understood the laning against Chino. So now Chino can't bully the Uranus anymore. Not as easily, not as quickly as he was in the first couple of minutes of the game. Next turtle spawning in the lower quarter here, closer to where Fury and Muiminette are. Again, these goal leaders haven't really seen much action. Oh, wow, look at June 1!
Wow. There's information gathering coming in from Zeta Division, so now they know where Hodun is. This guy is suffering! He popped off with the Consecration just so that he can move a little bit faster to deal with Hodun. But unfortunately, can't reach him.
Yeah, Hotun is hurting right now, but I think there's enough Spell Vamp in his kit to still run over to the turtle and contest. Turtle coming up in about 5 seconds. Purple being taken by 10, and then Hotun waiting for his... Oh, it's just it's a matter of entry. It's a matter of timing here. Look at how far back June 1 is coming from, man. He's going to take that flank and then sandwich the rest of Influence Rage. Oh, he's doing it now.
Yep, coming in between of the T1 and T2 in the middle lane. He's now sandwiched in between of 3 persons. This is going to be the spacing that we would definitely want coming from the side of Zeta Division. But June 1 is still alive through all of this. And Tan allows himself to pick up a kill, make that a double. June 1 has created so much space, and Chino can't even bring him down at all. Kani comes in and intercept, ensuring that June 1 will have a safe escape.
Nani, where did Kani come from? I don't think Influence Rage expected Zeta Division to lean into that pincer maneuver. Zeta Division get away with a few kills and a turtle of their own. I didn't expect for this match to be this close. June 1, such a nuisance.
June 1, this Uranus has been taking the spotlight. I honestly thought that Influence Rage would be able to burst him down, but now that I think about it and now that I look at it, they don't necessarily have the burst, right? But Fury at least does have the crossbow of tank to at least deal with Muiminette.
Okay, as impressive as the majority of the map is looking for Zeta Division, that gold they don't belong to them. Almost get taken down. 10 gets him.
Damn. The Sly Ninja joins into the fray and brings down the Samurai. Wait, he's a Samurai, right?
No,
he's not a Samurai?
Lee Sin is a Korean legendary hero.
Oh, damn.
Never mind. But no, this is
kind of a Viking to me.
This is impressive. Zeta Division is actually putting up quite the resistance.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I was saying, Muiminette, he needs to show up. Like, you can't be sitting in the gold lane and enjoying
the Moskov, right?
The majority of the 2/3 of the map being to your favor while you lose your lane. Like, this is unacceptable, especially in the face of a 1-1.
He's currently at level 7 as compared to Fury at level 8. They are almost a full level apart, and I think that is going to be pretty concerning if Muiminette don't manage to get some of these farms. In fact, he should be a little bit more agile, perhaps still a little bit in the middle and the bottom lane. They need to funnel a little bit more towards him.
And it looks like Fury's keeping himself scarce. This might be the... Oh, my Lord, Chan!
Oh, almost there, but that is going to be the passive coming in from Chan that knocked 10 away, but not quite enough to stop the Ninja of the Night. While Jun-Wan puts himself right in the face of Hodun once again, and this guy, he ain't afraid of anything at all, tanking up all this turret damage.
Oh, and the long-term wait by Hotun, rather by Fury down bottom, gets Muiminet. Muiminet didn't even stand a chance. Look, he just died off camera, but... Say what you will about that lane. The rest belongs to ZETA Division. Another turtle, the final one, goes over to 10.
With now the bottom lane T1 destroyed for Influence Rage and ZETA Division getting the T1 up in the top lane. It's a little bit more, it's pretty balanced at this point in time. With only 200 gold lead, it's nothing really. But ZETA Division, they will still have got a Uranus that is pretty beefy, and I think that is probably one of the first questions that they need to answer first.
Okay, well, we'll see exactly where the gold is and why it's so close. Oh, it is actually odd that the gold is this close, despite all that ZETA Division is getting on the map. So we'll find out in just a bit. We'll get answers as to why this is. Some good news for Muiminet. He's died twice, yes, but he's still farming up.
Yep.
But by how much? How much is he behind Fury? Because look at Fury, man. He's level 10. He just built up a Haas Claws. Who knows what's next for this 1-1? Here we see...
At least.
Oh, it's just 800 gold!
Oh.
That was unexpected.
Okay, that's not too bad. So where is all the gold coming in for the sort of ZETA Division? So far, it is Hayabusa.
It's on 10,
1,000.
man. It's on 10.
Yep.
Oh, this rogue Shinobi, I did not know 10's game, man. He knows how to use his Hayabusa, and he knows how to use it well. Influence Rage.
He's got a lot of targets, let's be honest here.
That's true, but also they're hoping for time. I think if there's anything I learned about, or we're learning about Yusen Shin in this current patch, is it doesn't matter how long it takes for the Yusen Shin to get online. He will always be a threat come the late game once he's fully built.
Okay, so there is a small little window where he loses that power spike in the mid stages of the game, right? Because most of the marksmen will get a massive power spike by the mid stages of the game. That is where he kind of loses out a bit.
This is his hybrid nature, because he's, again, not just a full marksman. He's also a fighter, also an assassin.
Yep.
And I think once he builds his, we're on the way to the endless battle, his 4th or 5th item, his 4th or 5th non-boots item, his core items, once he gets there, then maybe 10, once he spends the shadow kill and doesn't kill Hotun, starts to regret things, maybe June 1 will start hurting, which is another question. Again, you mentioned this, who's taking care of Hotun? Where is the anti-heal coming from? Whose job is that right now?
Honestly...
It's on Chan for sure.
It must be on Chan.
Where else?
I would assume Chino, right? He gotta have to build the Dom Eyes at one point.
It's on no one else right now.
No one else. So they are relying, technically they are relying a lot on the Fury of the Phoenix in order to apply all these anti-regen then.
I don't think that's enough.
Really?
It's not enough. Oh, here we go, the collapse!
Oh, that's quite a burst onto Piske. As now, we also do have the SOD just going to be flying up in the sky, while Muiminet joins in the fray. Doesn't really have a lot of damage on the Chino, though, unfortunately. 10 as well, and Muiminet just going to be tethered together as they walk back and out of the fight pretty effectively. No problems for them.
God!
On the southern side, June taking quite a bit of pokes, but it's nothing that's going to stop him.
That is terrifying. The Uranus bullying out of the Lord Pit. Hotun goes down.
Pino finds himself taken down by the hands of Jun-Wan after that Ogi Shadow Kill being popped. The Revitalize is also going to be available and used up from the side of Kani. So that is 2 of the Revitalizers that is going to be on cooldown as they re-engage us again. Gino is finding himself taken down by the hands of Kani. And Piske with the burn over to Chan. It is to fight current scoreline.
It's gone sideways. ZETA Division win the long-term lore dance. And they send Jun-Wan over to Hotun again. Hotun can't do nothing, man.
Oh my goodness. Not only did they get the Lord, the middle lane T1 is also gotten for themselves. Muiminet pushes himself down to the bottom lane. He did manage to push the turret all the way to the lower than half HP. Muiminet is trying to look for an escape route. Wasn't able to, unfortunately, as he goes solo Romeo down to the bottom.
Muiminet, I think he's understood the assignment. He knows that all I'm here to do right now, given
push turrets.
My difficult early to mid game is to just take turrets, maybe free hit, or relocate with my spear destruction. But
the damage from June,
as it is now, he's behind everyone, including June 1. June 1, what is that? 49K. I'd reckon about 20K of that is on Hotun. He does 20K to Hotun just by keeping tabs on him. That's how amazing June 1 is. It's June 1 in July, bro.
Dude.
Oh my God!
Oh, no! Wait! Oh!
The burn is good. The burn is good.
Oh, that's no burn! Wait, never mind! The OG Shadow Kill gives him the iframe that he needs and turn around against Pagino!
Nothing personal, kid. He had the shadow kill right where it mattered. Oh, wow. Zeta Division, so entertaining to watch. Influence Rage.
Oh, my goodness.
Is it just me, Abstract? Is it just me, or are they just...
Are
they getting a little messy here?
I don't know. Influence Range, I know they thrive in chaos, but I don't know. Is this organized chaos?
Exactly. Is this a little too chaotic for them?
I think it is, because Zeta Division is quite literally holding this game on their hands. Like, it's literally in their palm of their hands, with all the waves just going to be shoving right in, with the rod pillaging from the top side, with, of course, the spiraling trident, while Mui Minette focuses down the bottom lane, as the OG Shadow Kill deals a number onto Chino.
Zeta Division, I think I've said this a couple of times already in the series, but I am impressed. They so masterfully sink those waves.
Yeah.
I mean, mid missed out, sure, but top and bottom, that's what resulted in this inhibitor going down. That's what resulted in this half of the top lane turret going down, and they're not done.
And they're just still gonna keep moving in. 10, taking a little bit of a pot shot, but not gonna be a problem. Of course, when it comes down to the artillery strike deal, a decent amount. Hodun looking for one onto 10, but wasn't able to.
Oh, wow. I understand what Hotun was getting at. But again, those kind of movements, those kinds of patterns to look for punishes are one of the reasons why I had to ask is this too much chaos for Influence Rage?
I think that...
Are they out of their tempo here?
Definitely out of tempo. And a little bit panicky, right?
They're down 5K, Eugene. They're down 5K. And wait, where's the majorities coming from? Oh my God, on June 1 and 10.
June 1 by 2,000? Okay, to be specific, 1.8 thousand, but...
10 on almost 2,000 too!
Honestly, what really impresses me is that... Oh, wait, hold on a second. They want something out of Pakidu. His HP is all the way down low now, but we also do have the Avatar of the Guardian that snatches it off onto Pakidu. Of course, the OG Shadow Kill deals a number on the Hodun, brings him down. Fury, make a quick hop, skip, and a jump away. Well, 10, I don't have... Oh, never mind. Now it went off cooldown, and Chun is going to suffer that loss. 4-man down to Influence Rage.
Fury's Wind of Nature and Crossbow Tang meant nothing to Zeta Division. They can read the map. It's endable, they say.
Fury is unable to get himself out of that. The last thing they could do is to take Fossa down, and Zeta Division takes game 1.
What a welcome back on the world stage.
Oh.
MLBB Esports with open arms welcomes Zeta Division with their win. Drawing first blood in this best of 3.
Oh my goodness, dude.
It's been a while.
I don't know what to say.
Look at the big smile on Ten's face.
Oh man. You know, throughout this entire few series, this is the very first time. Oh, okay. Is it first time? I can't remember. The first Lord.
I just gotta say, that's Sugoi, man. what did we watch?
Oh, wow, this is dominating. I did not... No way, guys. Zeta Division, they are here to show the divide between them and the rest of the wild card competitors.
This is Group B. Welcome to Group B.
Welcome to Group B.
This is what we said, right? We set it up as the entertaining group, and what an upset. Again, this is I gotta say it out loud, this is an upset. We haven't seen Japan in a long while, all this while.
Just a little half a decade.
Yeah, just under half a decade, and Latam has grown to have their own MPL, mind you, their own MPL.
Yes.
The only MPL outside of Southeast Asia, and this is what happens?
What did they eat for breakfast?
I'd like to know.
I'd like to know. Whatever they own, I want some.
All right, so...
Oh, man.
All right,
Let's take a look.
We can sing the praises of Zeta Division all we want, but we have to talk about brass tacks here. We have to get down to the details here. Mui Minette, he's a role player. He's literally I'm pretty sure somewhere around the mid game to close to the late game. Either Kani or Ten saying, just push turrets, man.
Yeah.
We'll take care of everything else, just push turrets.
And at one point in time, when it comes down to the marksman, in the early to the mid stages of the game, if you really can't contribute to battles, You have the attack speed, you have the siege. You are quite literally the siege median.
Just do that.
Overglorified siege median.
Just do that.
Just do that.
Just do that. And all
You're
this,
doing your role.
And all this while, June 1, sure, caught a little bit of a mini heart attack in the early, right? Because
Yes.
Chino wins
The
that
proxy.
lane. The CC can bully you, but when he got past that, again, as early as 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, it's as if that winning lane didn't even matter. It never happened. And don't get me started on 10. Gideon, did you watch that game?
I did, and let me tell you, ZETA Division, they look like they're smurfing on them, boys. That was so good. Tell me if that wasn't plot armor. 10 going in on that Hayabusa. Every situation that he's been put in, he wins out at the very end. My God.
It's like Hayao Miyazaki wrote this game, bro.
I'm not going to lie. I'm very impressed with what I've seen so far. I think that this team was looking a lot more uncoordinated in their team fights, especially when they were going through their qualifiers, right? There was a lot of like breaking momentums. There was a lot of like trickling in. This time round, the battle lines are extremely clean. And as much as I want to sing the praises of 10, Jusuke, disgusting Farsa. So much value brought by a single ult.
Yes, the only thing that's keeping him in the grounds of reality is when he gets popped out of nowhere by Paquito. That's it. Like whenever he dies in the hands of a hidden Badang, sure, I understand. You're just human, bro. But other than that, he's just like perfect. Like, I don't care. Cancel my ult, bro. Just cancel it. Try me.
Just notice the fact that he's getting maximum value as well from the feathered airstrike. Each strike, he's catching 2, maybe even 3 people at a time from a single artillery blast from the feathered airstrike, which is not exactly, well, most people are just going to tap it and hope for the best. You want to get it out as quick as possible, but the efficiency coming out from this squad is, it's looking good, but maybe this is just a game 1 sort of thing.
I mean, speaking of feathered airstrike, right? It's not as pronounced as the other game that we saw before with the Zetian picks against the Farsa.
Yes.
I don't see the Fury of the Phoenix stopping that feathered airstrike at all.
It doesn't stop Suke, bro. It doesn't stop Suke. He's, again, what do you call it? Plot armor?
Plot armor.
Like,
armor.
No, I was put on the stage to feathered airstrike. I will feathered airstrike. All right. One more thing. You brought up how in the qualifier of Japan, which I also watched, right? It was crazy. It seemed like they had a meta of their own. So, what is more impressive? The fact that maybe they were playing just to how the other Japanese teams were playing, or maybe they learned that fast. Maybe in the span of a month, they're able to develop this kind of macro and play to a standard that we're more comfortable with, that we're expecting from world-class teams.
But that's the thing, right? That's the thing that Japan has brought to the table every single time. And again, it's not like we have a lot of data to work with, and this is data that was half a decade ago old from 10 Second Gaming and the predecessors of 10 Second Gaming Frost as well during M1 and as well as M2. The one thing that is highly notable about this Japanese team is that in a very short period of time, you see the evolution of the squad. I don't know whether ZETA Division decided to go boot camping in some other Southeast Asian region and start really looking hard for these scrims, because this team is looking a cut above the rest.
I'm scared of them at this point in time. I don't even know what they're gonna bring onto the board anymore.
It could be like a game 1 sort of thing, but we're gonna have to test that theory in just a little bit. Don't worry, everybody. We're gonna go on a short break, and when we come back, we could see the potential conclusion of this match between ZETA Division and as well as Influence Rage, or could it be pulled and stretched into a game 3? We'll find out right after this break.
The human body was built to move, not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
The time has come. Two exciting regions now face off against each other. An emerging one in Japan looking to take this to a 2-0 on their debut match here at the Wildcards at the 2025 Esports World Cup live in Riyadh. Guys, my name is Gideon Q. I'm going to be your desk host for today. For those of you just tuning in, you just missed out an entire season, an entire arc of the Japanese players taking one game against Influence Rage. Now, for all intents and purposes, things could still spiral out of control, and we're hoping to see that Influence Rage bounces back with our casters here at the desk with Leo and as well as Abstract. Boys, now that you got it out of your system, the shell shock is over. What does Influence Rage have to do if they want to beat ZETA Division, who right now are looking to be a cut above?
They need to bring out the caliente. They need the heat. They need the chaos. Where is that? We were looking for it, and it came out in the most unfortunate way, wherein they were the ones finding themselves in all the chaos. Like, how do we respond to this? I think that's what we need.
Honestly, when I look at Influence Rage, the first thing that I would assume is that they won lane prio everywhere. They want to beat down the lanes. They want to win every single lane just so that they can just shove the ZETA Division right into the lockers.
Which they did.
For two. Oh crap!
For the first two turtles.
Yeah. Okay. At least we know that the 1-1 outright beats the lane against Muiminet.
Yep.
And when it comes down to CC, it was just like the first 5 minutes.
First
right?
turtle, yeah. First two turtles.
Yeah. It's not exactly a snowball that I'm looking for.
Now that we looked at it, in hindsight, mid was never put on lock. Paquito was always rotating elsewhere. Paquito was always looking for something else. And that's why, I guess, starting from mid, with 10 at the lead, things went out of control. Now looking back,
it went out of control really quickly, in a matter of fact. I think, especially since this is one of the few times we're seeing that Assassin is actually working out in the wild cards. We've seen a lot of people lean into the tanks, lean into the Yishin Shins, having the extra global vision of the Zetian plus Yishin Shin. I think now, at least from the side of the Japanese squad, they're showing like, hey, you give us a snowball, we know how to run with it. It begs the question whether Influence Rage might have to think of the draft a little bit different and really test them in all aspects of the game.
Yeah, Influence Rage may have overshot. I think that's one way I'm reading it.
Yeah.
They overshot, and they drafted for patch 1.95.9. You know what I mean? Because looking at ZETA Division, we expected something else from them, right? Like the unorthodox flavor, and maybe even in execution. But no, like they played so July 2025 that it was too clean. Like, and they got away with that from blue side.
Honestly, whatever that they were cooking in the previous game, they gotta have to do the same thing, right? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but when it comes down to game 2s, so far it has always went to the other side.
Yeah, I'm
right?
hoping it's not like a game 1 situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Gideon, what do you mean by a game 1 situation?
I feel like this could be, hey, we're on the international stage where we're not worried about these nerves. We gotta give everything right here, right now. And I think that's what's exciting about it. But with that being said, it looks like the draft is going to be about to begin here. And I think that Influence Rage, hey, they got Rage in their name. They're looking to turn things around and turn this into a full series. I'll pass it off to our casters here. It's Abstract as well as Leo at the desk. Take it away, boys.
Indeed we will. Game number 2. Draft's about to begin. Eugene, do you reckon there should be a switch of sides?
I would like to believe they would switch sides, right?
So, ZETA on red.
ZETA on...
ZETA on Nakai.
Wait, ZETA on red. Yeah. ZETA on red.
Japanese for red.
Aka.
I don't know the Spanish for red. But okay, that might be one way that Influence Rage can input more proactive chaos. That might be one way they do that. And that's what we do. That's what we get.
I want to see them to be aggressive at the start. I want them to be starting to, kind of just run it down into the jungle. That is something that I would want to see them, kind of throw ZETA Division to an imbalance, for example. Something that ZETA Division is not used to.
Okay, so the draft alone, take away stability. In the draft alone, deny them that comfort, deny them that clear path to farming order. And that's what we talked about earlier, right? The patterns.
They want the tempo, right?
The having the procedural 1 into 2 into 3. But wait, hold up. Draft is unfolding very quickly. Influence Rage, Prio picks the 1-1. Again, putting in the hands of Fury. While ZETA Division lock in Suke's classic Farsa. I mean, a game
He's
in.
happy with that.
We'll call it a classic now. And then we don't know where this box is going.
Yep, it could go to literally 3 different roles. So it's still kind of out in the open. We'll just leave it as it is. One thing that I'm surprised though is the fact that Influence Rage, they are not exactly respecting the Hayabusa pick from game number 1. They didn't ban out for that. They would believe that, you know what, we can do it by Hayabusa, just lick it out again. I think that is completely fine. We move on to the next 2 picks. So it's going to be the Lapu Lapu as well as
The Kalia, yes.
Kalia. I got something with this
You were
lady
talking
right now.
about disrespect. They're throwing the Kalia into the Baksha. Already a nombo.
Okay.
An anti-synergy, because the healing is already negated.
Yep.
I don't know how
Lapu
it's
Lapu's
gonna...
healing too as
Yeah.
well.
Shielding, he gets shields.
Shields and heals.
And damage reduction.
Yes.
And spell vamp, yeah. All those, if not shut down, will neutralize, put down to, a close 50-50 when it comes to efficiency by the Baksha, which we don't know where it's going. If it was up to me, if my opinion mattered any, give it to June 1.
Gonna give it to June 1.
Because you want to give 10 that mechanically demanding jungler. And here it is in the hands of 10 once more. It's Yisun Shin. It's this time around. The shoe's on the other foot.
Yep, Yisun Shin is going to be on the side of ZETA, so they have already... I would still like to believe that the Baxia is going to be more onto Kanin's side as the roamer. So they have pretty... That too, right?
Yeah.
So they have a pretty proactive draft. They have pretty fast pacing. In fact, if the curve is right, if the farming curves and all, ZETA will still be able to do the exact same thing as the previous game. They will still be aggressive, and they will still kind of steal the game away from Influence Rage.
All right, in the second phase of banning, ZETA take out choices for the jungle. Hotun will not be able to play the Lancelot, while Rage ban out the Badang. I'd reckon Coach Tink should ban out the Zetian as well.
Zetian as well.
Right? Because, again, take away that option for global vision, take away that auto stopper for the feathered airstrike.
Yep.
And they're still missing a mid laner, so why not?
It's kind of, they don't want it to be eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, so just throw that into the pool. I do like the ban of the Zetian. Just a single hero can have a pretty good answer to 2 things. You nullify the opponent's vision game, or rather, you kind of eye for an eye that, and also just completely remove the Fasa. I like that suggestion.
They don't ban it out. Instead, take out the Hayabusa.
They took out the 2 junglers.
Okay, again, if you're protecting 10, sure, but...
Okay. Or just plain respect over to Horun.
Sure, yeah, they would rather respect the hero than the potential pick to shut down their own. While Influence Rage, they have one more ban here. Another frontliner, I'd reckon. What is that, an Arlet?
Arlet.
An Esmeralda?
Perhaps someone... I mean, Arlet sounds fine. They would want a little bit more crowd control within their midst, because the only one is going to be Farsa, and I would say Farsa's stun or crowd control is not exactly the most reliable one. So perhaps look for something in that case.
You gotta proc it.
You have to proc it. Yeah.
Here it is, the Gatot.
Okay, that falls within a category.
Okay, Zeta Division. Oh, here we go.
Wait, what?
Now we're cooking. Oh, Lord. Nathan shows up.
When was the last time we saw him?
Can't tell you, man. I don't remember. And since his last significant showing, right? At least to memory, he's gotten a few tweaks.
Okay.
He's gotten a few changes. Again, maybe 3 patches down. So I'm looking at like 6 months ago.
The last thing I remember is he was still quite a monster of a marksman who pops off a lot earlier, since we were talking about magic items. Magic items are relatively cheaper than physical items when it comes down to a fully stacked hero.
Oh, hold up.
Not
Forget the Z10. We're going Nana. That's 2 Leonins amongst Influence Rage's draft. I like it because it's solid.
You like it?
Crowd control. Yeah, you drop Molina's gift and poof.
I mean, yeah. But okay, so I'll ask the question here then, right? So we have good damage from Nana in the late stages of the game, but in the early stages, you're mostly just gonna be pretty darn annoying.
She's literally just a CC machine with her ult.
Yeah.
And Molina's gift.
There's Molina's gift. So in the early stages, you don't expect any form of lane control, which I would like to assume that is generally what we want out of a mid laner. You want control, you want lane priority, you want to influence the other lanes. If Influence Rage don't have that kind of control in the mid stages, how do they fare? How would they fare in the side lanes?
They have the Lapu-Lapu, they have the 1-1. I think they can just bully Mui.
They just want to win in their own lanes, just leave them be.
Yeah, they can bully Mui Minette again.
Okay.
It's the same matchup, right? I mean, it's 1-1 into the Nathan.
Yep.
Might even be harder for Mui Minette, you know what I mean?
Doesn't Nathan has a pretty outrageous range as compared to
the 1-1?
The 1-1?
Yeah, but if the 1-1 decides to fight, the Nathan is forced to use his ult to relocate. So
okay.
I'd say, and watching the gameplay, again, nothing against Mui Minette. I know he's a role player. I think Fury can bully him. That's what I'm saying.
But if he plays according to his role, like the previous game, I know for sure Nathan brings turret down real fast, though.
Yeah, maybe faster than the Moskov.
Definitely faster.
Let's see if ZETA Division can upset the second half of today's broadcast by sweeping Influence Rage, or can the Pride of Latam inject just the right amount of chaos to take us to game number 3.
Let's take a look. When it comes down to the XP lane, one thing for sure is that it is naturally going to be a wet noodle fight whenever you see a Hilda. He can deal massive amount of damage over to the XP lane as well, still being relatively safe because of the natural healing he gets from the passive. So as much as possible, I want to see Junwan constantly providing all this vision game. Very similar kind of playstyle than what we expected in the Uranus in the game number 1. So I think that Junwan just play what he did in the previous, and he's all good.
Yep. If anything, he can be a little more aggressive because what's Joy going to do to you early on? Oh, my lord, off camera. Suka gets blasted.
All the way in the middle lane.
Yep. I'd reckon it was off of the combo of the Boomerang and Molina's gift. Like, there's nothing you can do. Even with the Purify, you can't purify that.
Damn. Honey. Next one on the chopping block. A little bit too aggressive on that part. What was he doing alone in the opposite jungle, though?
He was trying to check in on Hotun, is my guess.
Oh, right. He's a roamer, my bad.
Yeah, but that's June's job. And I think June was going to try and do that. They barrage down onto Paquito, but there's not enough effective damage just yet.
But I think that's still going to be fine. We're currently still 1 minute and 50 seconds in. Influence Rage definitely had a great start. In fact, leading them about 1,000 gold. But anything could happen at this point in time, as now is going to be an instant stun onto Hodun. He goes down almost instantaneously to the hands of 10, while the Feather Airstrike from Pitsuke just pushes everyone, zones them away. That's the turtle for them.
Very unfortunate for Influence Rage. Say what you will about the first 2 kills on Influence Rage, but Hotun is more than worth it to trade for Psuke and Kani plus a turtle. This is a win for ZETA Division.
Matt wins. Even though they are still slightly behind in terms of economy, this will slowly make its way to show some progress. While in the meantime, Paquito is still at level 3, not a big problem. Minette, though, just hit level 4, so at least there's still something that they can play around with against Fury with the Feather Airstrike onto Fury. Almost there, Minette goes aggressive, but no go.
All right, almost overextension here by ZETA Division. They do back off down bottom, though.
And that is going to be one.
And Chino, double team, June 1. There wasn't much this Hilda was going to do. He is forced to use the flickers. That's a win for Influence Rage.
So at least in these early stages of the game, this is what I would expect more from Influence Rage, right? Take up some early kills, kind of throw the ZETA Division in a kind of weird situation, trade a little bit here and there. All's fine. Influence Rage, they have the early game so far, even though I did not expect them to actually win in the early. Mid stages of the game, definitely. We know that is where the joy starts to be a little bit scarier.
Mm-hmm. So we're checking in if June 1 can stop this snowball, if June 1 can shut down enough of Hotun's jungle to slow it down. I think that's what ZETA Division wants to do, and that's why they're forcing a lot of the responses up to the top lane. If they can make Influence Rage respond to what they're doing to Fury, then all the more there will be less pressure on June 1, which will allow for him to bear down onto Hotun. So it's like a 1-2 step. It's a 1-2 step for Zeta Division to get to a winning position. Second turtle waiting to spawn lower quarter. Oh, look at that. Hotun is just waiting. He's going for his orange first. Oh, Cam.
Oh, wait, Mui Minette! Getting away with just a sliver. Fury, guys, it's really just about Fury. This guy is crazy in his lane. He's just shoving Mui Minette in such a difficult spot. But in the meantime, down to the bottom lane, Tsunami Slam just going to be echoed out while Chino picks up a double on the both Kani as well as 10, allowing Hoden taking the turtle.
Yep. Forget about anti-healing. There was just way too much there. Zeta Division put nothing on the board for that turtle take. Suke is in trouble.
He don't have wings by wings. Hoden picks up a free kill right on T2, and I would assume that that is also going to be a T1 that potentially will go down.
See, that's an interesting interaction. Even Pasuke knows you're not going to get away from that. The stacks that Joy gets to unlock her ult are stacks on her, not on you. So you cannot purify that. So Pasuke understood the assignment that I'm just dead. I'm not going to waste my purify here.
Yeah, it's not like he has any form of crowd control anyways, right? In fact, I kind of like the fact that they have two purifies in their team, right? Zeta Division, they absolutely respect the amount of crowd control that could come from both the Kalia or perhaps even the Nana.
Yep. They also just accepted that, yeah, Chan might get us sometimes. And so far, Chan with 4 assists, meaning he's gotten 4 out of the 6 kills, means it stonks. It's Nana pick. Wow, the breadth of what's allowed in this current patch is up to Series 3.
Yep.
Up to day. It amazes me.
Such a situational thing that somehow worked out very well in this game, right? Well, in the meantime, I just gotta have to say that Zeta Division, they're well on their way, but what about their power spikes like? When would we naturally want to see Zeta Division trying to fight back?
Okay, so they're waiting on two things. Both Mui Minette's Nathan and Ten's Yisun Shin. If either of these things are still surviving by critical mass, I'd say what, 13 minutes, 14 minutes? If Zeta Division still has some of their turrets outside of the base, or at least are in relatively good shape, then maybe that's where Zeta Division claps back. But right now, it's all Influence Rage.
I can't really imagine Influence Rage having a late game composition that would work well against Zeta unless they somehow manage to find a nuke from Chan literally onto 10. Since 10 will need to be in the kill zone, or rather kill range of Chan, in order to do remotely anything, even if they want to go for front to back. But speaking of which, Pakitu finding himself a pretty good suplex in. Chino picks up a killing spree, double kill again. What is going on with this Lapu Lapu?
There's not enough damage amongst Suke and Ten just yet. Suke tried his darkness. We commended his Farsa in game 1, but you saw how he was hitting 4 dudes with it. Nothing. They felt nothing.
Nothing at all. Don't have the skilling provided just yet. Eventually they will get there, right? So I still want to see how their objective game is going to go. Still the same thing. Mui Minette, still the NPC, still on the side lanes. Bring it down as much as possible. But unfortunately, Rage is doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. There's no way that Influence Rage allows for this, at least not for free. Look at him. He's down about 1,500 gold.
Yikes.
That's miserable. Looking at the jungle, 800 gold. Might as well be 2,000 because you're looking at Hotun. He's snowballing out of control, man. 3 kills already. 10 barely has 1.
And surprisingly, Chino also having a pretty darn good farm on himself. About 1,000 gold on top of a Hilda. But to be honest, Hilda, what can he do in the late?
Chino has 4 kills, man. 401. Who's going to stop him? We're waiting for some sort of penetration, some sort of anti-heal. Can Pasuke afford to get the anti-heal right now?
Chino actually went first item Hunter Strike.
Yep, so he's lethal. He knows he's lethal.
Yeah.
There's not much hurting him here. He's aiming to get that second skill to hit as many people as possible.
Yeah, so at this point, it's not about the fact that he wants to play a bruiser, but he knows that he's ahead. Might as well just take the opportunity and just deal as much damage. If he can get a kill, he'll get a kill. It will pave a good way for Influence Rage and just kind of soft lock Zeta Division in the tough spot where they just don't scale.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen to Chino, right? He'll die, but wait.
Oh, there we go. That is going to be the Tsunami Slam that's going to be working on Ducani while immediately transforming him. While in the meantime, time, Boulevard flies up into the sky with the crossbow of Tang. Does a decent amount of damage over to the side of Jun 1, but I don't think it is enough. Never mind, Pakiru with the tidal strike joins into the fray. He may sacrifice himself, but that's a 1-for-3 trade.
Oh man, Chino didn't die. Chino spent his flicker, stood in the corner, burning. Now Hotun is hunting down 10.
Oh.
10 gets taken out. 1v1, denied his purple. Did he? Did Hotun even steal it?
I think that... I don't think he managed to steal
10
it.
kept
He
it,
did
but he died.
But he died. So at what cost, right?
Everything.
Everything.
It cost him everything. This is an 8,000 gold lead right now on Influence Rage. Zeta Division could do nothing but watch as the Latam reps in the wild card take away that Lord for free. This is a very different Zeta Division.
This is very different.
This is the situation they find themselves in now is, I hate to say it, but it's close to irreconcilable. Like, what do you do?
Wait until 22 minutes, I suppose.
I agree.
Yeah.
Not 22, but the prior ultimatum of 12 minutes, 13 minutes, bump it up to like 16.
Yeah, bumped it to 16. Because they're not really as, this is not the usual curve, right? They have to earn through passive income. And only by 16, 17 minutes would they be able to reach critical mass. But at least, and I think that the saving grace is Mui Minette being a mage marksman. It makes things a little bit cheaper for him to go online.
Yep, he's more efficient with less money in his pockets because there's no way you just wind of nature out of his damage, I think is one way to put it. So he can still threaten Fury. Chino will hurt like the old-fashioned way, but they gotta defend their base first. We start here.
Now the final question. Does Influence Rage have got what it takes to close a game? This is something that I'm afraid of.
I think they do.
Can they?
Unpopular opinion, I think they do. No matter how much we want to see Zeta Division succeed, because again, they're true underdogs.
I mean, we have Chino after all.
Yeah.
This guy is on fire.
Oh,
and
no.
speaking of on fire, with a two-man lockdown, he manages to catch two, while Jun 1 is going to be taken down too. 2% down, while Influence Rage haven't lost a single person. The title strike just going to be landing on the Carney. Watch Han brings another one, and it's a suplex, brings 10 in a tough spot. Double kill, credited to Chan, and this is a 5-man wipeout.
Clean. Hotun for 5 is a trade I'll take any day. Chan is feeling himself. Chan knows that the end is nigh. Zeta Division, no one spawned until 3 seconds, and there's a clean wave.
This is the end, ladies and gentlemen, even though we have the two members that's back online, but Influence Rage have too much on their hands to end the game.
They ran through Zeta Division, and it's not like Zeta Division had a bad draft. Zeta Division had a decent draft, I'll say that much, but Influence Rage, this is what we were looking for, the velocity, the intensity, the chaos amongst their opponent's ranks. Like, this is what we expected.
This is what we are used to. The Influence Rage that we know. They want the chaos, they want the aggression. Early game, 3 kills in the bag, we know. They have managed to shatter the structure that Zeta Division wants.
I see in Hotun's face as he walks back to the room with his squad. I told you guys, just trust me. Just right, let me play the joy, and then we'll stampede through them. This is now down the wire for all the marbles. Rubber match, game 3.
I'm not going to say anything about patterns and how Series 1 and 2 goes out, but we got to change something here, for sure.
Who's we? Because it's them playing. We're literally just calling the match.
No, it's the Cass's jinx.
Is it?
I don't know.
Okay, here we go. Let's watch the early moments of that game once more. It's clear that Zeta Division were fighting where they shouldn't have.
There are definitely points in time whereby they don't have what it takes, especially when it comes down to the economical factor. They don't have the items, they don't have that power spike in order to really deal with the opponents. So, understandably, to play underneath the turrets is generally going to be the safe bet, but to fight for the turtle, I think that those are the points where they gave free farm over to the opponents.
Yeah, I think they expected this match to have as much room as they did in game 1.
Yep.
Which was clearly wrong. And what we're seeing here, another highlight, Nana wins. Nana debut win.
I think that this is kind of a June effect. I think the change from the Uranus to the Hilda is such a big difference to the spacing.
It's jarring. It's too much. Like, he couldn't claim much of the map. Oh, man. Gideon, do you share these sentiments with us?
I do agree with the sentiments. I do feel like the EXP played a pretty significant factor in there. And one more thing, the fact that 10 had to scale in this game. I feel like, at least for Influence Rage, they played a tighter, more cohesive game. If we're going to team fight, we're not going to give them the 2v2s. We're not going to give them the 1v1s. Let's make it messy, but at least let's bring in 4 people to ensure that this fight is going to be as clean as it gets. And not to mention the lane matchups that we did get to eventually see. Nana on top of having strong power picks like the Kalia, the early level 2 kill down by the mid lane. I mean, he had to use Purify. He just didn't think like, the boomerang and Kalia at level 2 is going to kill me. No, no way.
It's super specific how Tsuke should have behaved in the early, right? So that was very much punished by Influence Rage.
Honestly, if I were Piske, I think I would do the same thing. Like, it's just a boomerang. Nana don't do that much damage in the early game. So
Apparently she does. Oops.
Not to mention, it also had lethal ignition, and let's not forget, Kalia does a surprising amount of damage in the earlier stages of the game. I mean, fair enough, mistakes were made, but it just goes to show, Influence Rage, they're not here to just get knocked on over. They're looking to kind of push back, and now that we've got the full series, and we got a little bit of a taste from both sides, I do want to actually bring up the question to you boys. What are some of the adjustments we need to see? Starting off with the EXP lane, I'm expecting a little bit more damage. That's personally for me, but I do think there's a couple of interactions that even Zeta Division weren't 100% on, and I think that Kalia played a really big part in that.
Honestly, I still want to put that on June.
Really?
I still will put it on June. The early stages was really heavily dictated by the Uranus in game number 1.
So you're saying that Hilda did nothing?
I will say that he tried to, but he's not getting enough of a support where he's just roaming free, right in the face, just doing whatever that he wants. Join into the team fight when he wants, back out whenever he wants. It's very different about when game number 1, they have the double revitalize tag, he stays in lane, he just ragdoll that fight.
I'll tell you now, the Hilda did nothing. I mean, look, again, we tried to set it up, right? The best thing that the Hilda can do is to live in Hotun's face. Like, compromise the joy. He couldn't because the Lapu-Lapu cleared the wave much faster and was able to rotate much faster. So maybe change the draft pattern to allow for June 1 to be more of a significant player. That's where I would put this whole... Sure, yeah, that's where I would put this whole June 1 situation.
Well, we are going to have a little bit of time to actually think about it. For now, we're going to go on a short 3-minute break, and when we come back, it's going to be the conclusion between a Zeta Division up against Influence Rage. So, stick around or go to the bathroom, but don't go anywhere. Keep your eyes locked on the screen. Next 3 minutes are going to be important as we break this down. We'll catch you right after the break. The time is now. We continue on for the conclusion of this best of 3 here in Group B. It's ZETA Division facing up against Influence Rage 1-1 in the wild cards here for MSC at EWC 2025 live in Riyadh. My name is Getting Q. For those of you just tuning in, don't worry, we're going to be jumping into the draft real soon. But Leon as well as Abstract, we had a little bit of time to actually think about what are some of the amendments that can be done to really give them that little bit of an edge coming. And to be fair, we don't have a lot of information to work with, but it can be hypothetical.
I'm glad that they're not playing Alucard.
Actually, yes.
That's one thing. So again, I'm glad that ZETA are respecting the metagame and they're learning so quickly. So if in the span of a month they're able to draft and play like this, who's to say that in the span of a game of 10 minutes they're able to start and pick up on, cues from their opponents?
Yeah,
and then read that, hey, 10 can't breathe and play if June 1's getting bullied. So maybe they hunker down on June 1 and then they give 10 maybe a more self-sustaining hero. Like, the decision is a little too vulnerable in my opinion, and for my taste of 10.
What are you talking about? Was the Hilda not self-sustainable in that case?
No.
It used to be self-sustainable for an entire year.
I mean, the Yi Sun Shin. Given how much pressure was put on the Hilda, and the Hilda can't protect the Yi Sun Shin, he had just one trick. It's like, oh God, help! That's it. Like, so that's their relationship. Draft-wise, I hope that they can reconcile that.
I want to see a hero, or rather, I think that this is very hypothetical onto the drafting side, but really I just want to see 10 pulling off early game / mid game heroes. Like you mentioned before, because this time he's playing Yuzushin, a scaling hero, I want someone that can kind of pop off at level 4, level 5, or whatever.
I don't know, because it feels like Boxian as well as Virgin has been like the consistent bans that we've been seeing throughout the matchup anyways, right? So does that mean that when looking to the lane, I'm thinking like Benedettas, I'm thinking about Swiss Army knives, I'm thinking about non-interactables, clear waves, fast, rotate becomes priority, arguably even an Edith could come into play in these matchups. It would make a lot of sense.
What if the coast is clear and they put a Suyo in his hands? You know what I mean? If you're sure that the other jungler is not a Joy, and at worst you're facing off against a single Farsa or like a single Zetian, does 10 have a Suyo? I miss Suyo. We haven't seen a single Suyo.
That's true. We haven't seen a single Suyo, and he has a history of actually playing the Suyo during the qualifiers.
Right. I do want to see that ZETA Division playing that as an X factor, right? It's been a long time since we've seen Suyo. How are they going to bring it into the game and make it work? Suyo is kind of phased out, actually for no reason, right? It's just the fact that there are better heroes for very specific purpose. And Suyo is just kind of, like you said, I believe the Swiss Army knife is like great for every situation, but not the best for all.
It could be worse. It could definitely be a lot worse, but that brings us to the one final linchpin for a lot of these compositions, the supports. Because I feel based on what we've seen from the supports, we don't see as much width, breadth, depth. It's tough to say, right? We don't really know what's the full width of their hero pool when it comes down to being flexible with their compositions. So far, we've been seeing team fighting compositions. We've seen 4-1s. We haven't seen hard split pushes just yet. We also haven't seen like dedicated enchanter style mages.
Likewise. Okay, I can see where you're coming from. So at least something a little bit different per se, but not too unorthodox.
Well, I would make an argument of why isn't Florin being touched at all within the meta so far. Not once today do we see Florin.
Does ZETA Division have that? Is that enough of a wild card swing?
I believe.
Can he do it?
I don't believe that they play too much Enchanter supports.
So their playstyle doesn't look it.
Huh.
That's the question is, can their playstyle support it? Because, yeah, you're right. We're so used to Kani just being a sandbag.
Yes.
Kani being this wall of meat to support the rest of his squad. But, yeah, no, from game 1 alone, we saw that they can snowball off of 10. And they can put Muy Minette in a position wherein, all right, you lost the first 5 minutes, first 8 minutes. It's okay. We'll push turrets. Just like how you're looking for diversity in that support role, I'm looking for how else their team can, like Rubik's Cube around or like Jenga tower up to where they still work even if you move some of the elements around. Because it's clear that in game 2, if you mess with June 1, things crumble. Can they work that through?
Okay, interesting that you bring that up. If they are going to look to Rubik's Cube this around, maybe consider having a more, I don't know, straightforward game plan. Hey, we're going to play towards our gold lane, right? We want to be able to play on that bot side of the map and look to dominate that, because unfortunately, they had two side laners that weren't capable of doing enough.
Yeah, they lost both lanes.
Exactly, right? And I mean, obviously, it's a little more sad for Jun because he's got the Hilda, and usually that's supposed to be the dedicated sandbag, but then Tan into the 1-1, that was really, really rough. After 2 solo kills, it's like, come on, when are we going to actually give him the evac to get him to the point of no return?
If we are talking about the gold lane-wise, right? So far, Muiminet has been in losing lanes in two different games.
Whether it be because of the matchup or just his own personal performance, right?
Yes. So why wouldn't it be a possible thing whereby we funnel more information, or rather funnel more power over to the gold lane? Like you said, ensure the support, place down a little bit of a babysitting service down in the bottom lane to ensure that Muiminet wins his lane.
Well, I mean, we're going to find out now that we're heading straight into the draft. This could be the relationship, right? They could look for a strong wave-clearing mid lane to kind of alleviate that pressure, but it's up to you boys. Take us away.
Yeah, away into the draft we go.
Oh, what?
ZETA.
First pick?
First pick, the 1-1. I was going to say.
Okay.
I was going to say Granger. Where's Granger, man? Granger's one of the safest gold laners that whether you have a mediocre, difficult, or like amazing early game, you're okay, but no, he picks one of the high-risk heroes, man. You got to live in your opponent's face to start flying, to get that crossbow tang off. But here we are. This is the reality we have. And Rage answers in kind. How's about I blast you before you take off? The Farsa.
How about we jump you fast before you do anything?
Yep. Bury you to the ground with a giant two-handed sword. Lapu-lapu, right?
Yes, I think that is definitely going to be the direction that Influence Rage might want to go for. So we'll take a look at that. But in the meantime, it does seem like 10 is going back in onto his Hayabusa once again.
Comfort pick.
The comfort pick. We also do have got the Gadokacha. So I do like the Gadokacha pick solely because of the fact that he is an answer. He is an answer over to the Farsa.
So is the Hayabusa. So they're attacking...
They're tackling onto Chan.
Yep, they're attacking Chan now. And I'm wondering if that's enough, because now Rage will close up their first phase and then start going into priority. They will be the first to ban. They will be the first to pick after said banning phase.
Uh-huh.
Do they jungle here now? What are they missing? They're missing a gold laner, missing a jungler, missing a roamer.
At this
Kalia is
point
still at large.
Okay, there we go. Randis mentioned it. So is Farsa enough to make full use of this single this pick-off? Do we have enough damage?
Not yet. No.
Not yet?
I think the jungler and the jungler and the gold. No, less the gold laner. The jungler will be what closes things up. This will be when we say it's worth it. But if game 2 was any indication, Paquito was amazing on the Kalia.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the least of their worries, man.
Paquito has just been in the opponent's face time and time again, and always finding those very crucial Tsunami Slam time and time again. So what exactly is going to be ZETA's answer to all of that? We shall see in the banning pool, because it doesn't seem like they care too much about how the rest is played out. They just want to take away the gold laner, which is going to be the Granger for now.
Yep. Again, it's so hard to give Muiminet a winning lane, especially if they can just wings by wings over the Farsa to the bottom, or to the gold lane to blast him.
Yep.
But I like how Coach Blackjack is batting out the Zertian. Again, the instant cancel on the Feathered Airstrike.
Yep.
One more though, I don't think it should be a mid laner. Instead it is. Oh, he watched the qualifier. He knows that Tsuke
They know when to use it.
is the best Valentina user out of Japan.
So that's a good buy for the Valentina. So what are the possible choices that we're going to have to look out for now? We still have a Yves that's still possible, especially since they have already denied that the Gadokacha. The opponent naturally don't have an answer to a Yves.
I guess, but you're 50-50 on the fight. You're 50-50 on the artillery range battle. But at least you have better zoning, because you know this is for sure where you stay. People come in and come out. They get hurt. They get immobilized. There's the Iritel. So, what does
Bruno?
Bruno's banned out.
Oh wait. Oh right, you're right.
Iritel, Granger,
Natan.
Moskov.
Moskov, yes.
You can Moskov, sir. Does Influence Rage prioritize the Moskov though, or do they go for the jungler first.
I would like to believe that they want to keep the jungler as the X factor here. They want to leave it out. Since the gold laner is already out, they can always just play towards that. Aside from Moscow, what else can we look at? They actually picked up the lane first.
They keep it close to the chest. Again, the fact that the two bans in the second phase were gold laners, plus the fact that 1-1 was first pick, means Rage can play that gold lane. They're doubling down on the fact that that's their very last pick. So now ZETA, they can see the Sling, they can see the Khalia, and hold up. Why is Ten so happy about this?
There's something.
Yep, they still don't have an XP laner and a mid laner.
Yeah.
This is a mystery. What artillery mage would you
They are
send off
cooking
against
something.
a Farsa?
Is this someone's signature pick or something?
Or something very specific, unorthodox, that only they play in Japan. Okay, wow. Surprising
Wait,
that the Phobies didn't get banned out.
Okay, the Phobies slipped out. We didn't see that, but it is the Lilia.
All right, this Lilia
We
has...
talked about this.
Yes, Lilia has been in the works, given how certain changes in the meta, in the patch. We've been theorizing that Lilia should be popping off by now.
With superior lane control.
Especially since Glue is big too. Lilia plays well against Glue. So yeah, expect that there's a solid, sustainable mid for ZETA, and then 10 should just clean up house. I don't even get started on what happened with Moimine, especially since he's laning up against a Beatrix.
Okay, so I actually kind of do like what the Influence Rage is bringing onto the mix, right? With the Beatrix coming in with that Kalia, we essentially have very good answers to just blast the opponents into oblivion the moment that they actually catch someone with the Tsunami Slam. And not to forget, we also do have the Faster, so this is pretty much a siege comp as well that can work out very well for them.
Yep.
A lot of zoning.
So with that said, Influence Rage bringing a lot of the momentum that they garnered in Game 2, running right through ZETA Division. All this while ZETA debut picked the Lilia. Is that, I reckon that's why they were clapping. That's why they were so happy about it.
I would like to believe so, yeah. We haven't seen the Lilia in the longest time. And this time, for the match point between these two teams, ZETA Division and Influence Rage, Lilia joins into the fray.
Is this going to be enough to push ZETA Division over the top and upset Group B once more for a third match of the day, the rubber match? It comes down to this. Can they get up into the 1-0 bracket of the first stage of the wildcards? Influence. Wow, look at the damage that Suke put onto Paquito, man. Put him down to half health.
Let's take a moment, whenever possible, to actually talk about the Lilia, right? One thing is for sure is that Lilia is absolutely amazing at wave clears, right? But it's been so long since we last seen Lilia with the changes and all.
Her damage got pumped up, but her energy regeneration has been tweaked.
So
that is a change.
So Fasa versus Lilia, what kind? Who's the winning one in lane priority, or are they just equal?
I'd reckon the Lilia wins if they're positioned well.
Okay.
That's team fighting. Lane-wise, no.
Lane-wise.
Look how fast they both clear. They both just got out of there quickly. They both don't care.
They honestly just want to influence the lanes as much as possible.
Correct.
So realistically speaking, the mages don't need to touch each other.
Nope.
They just need to clear the lanes, and then we're off to our business.
Yes. If you're stuck in the lane, you're losing.
Fair. With the amount of movements coming in, ZETA Division, they definitely want to put a little bit more priority down to the bottom lane. I assume with June 1 just going to be rushing himself right into the face of Paquito, forces that flicker as well.
The discipline on 10, you see how he held back that shadow kill? He could have, I could have sworn he could have
went for it.
But he didn't. It's not time. It's not time.
Not yet. Reserving that for the upcoming turtle fight. They know what's coming, and they can definitely expect a little bit more.
Yep, ZETA Division first to the scene. Jun-1 and Suke welcoming Paquito. He senses that there's more of a presence here. Kani as well holding the Y brush. Oh, it's all ZETA.
Yeah, I don't think that Influence Rage will be able to do anything. As 10 ticks up a free turtle, we do have ZETA Division with a very good zoning. Just ensuring that Influence Rage will be able to do too much. Oh, look at that! All the amounts of damage from Fury forces Muimina to go home now. Oh, yo! Okay. I'm surprised that I didn't see that coming.
Coast to coast. None of us saw it coming. Even Moimenet thought he was safe. And he gets punished by Hotun by recalling out in the open. Could have sworn he was safe from Fury, but Fury was not the real threat. The real threat was Hotun, and that is first blood drawn on to the sad gold laner for Zeta Division, currently sitting at 0-1-1. 3 minutes in, about a minute and change until the next turtle spawns in the lower quarter. So it's safe to say, Zeta Division has won 2 out of 3 lanes.
Yes.
They definitely lost gold.
They definitely lost gold. Not exactly the best track record for Muiminhet, but hopefully they will be able to see that coming in, because it is a 1-1 after all. You want to play in team fights, but so far in the past few games, he's not really in those. But speaking of which, and speaking of team fight, 10 looking for one onto Chan. He already used the OG Shadow kill, but in the meantime, also Tempest of Blaze coming from your Hodun with 2 blades and out of it.
2 ults, resulting in no kills. So far, both junglers respecting each other's output, but there's a slight lead in the EXP for 10, but if you're talking about utility, you're talking about easily executable wins. Hotun has to be respected. Hotun, you have to understand that his kill on Muiminet earlier was orchestrated by Influence Rage. Influence Rage set that up, so it's not as easy for Zeta Division to do the same.
Zeta Division, they don't really quite have the amount of mobility per se, aside from the Avatar of the Guardian. Technically speaking, we do have 10 with his Quad Shadows.
But he has to use the Quad Shadow to back out too.
Yes, exactly. There is a small little time frame before the shadows dissipate, so he gotta have to do everything that he needs during that window of opportunity.
And he's playing with such a small margin of error. He has to play this very well, very similar to how he played game number 1. June 1. Keeps tabs on Chino, so does Kani. Chan relocating. Oh, the turtle still standing.
As now the feathered airstrike just going to be popping right out, while Chan is going to be untouchable by the side of Zeta Division, and such allowing them to land pretty good kills in, with Chan taking 1 Fury as well. 3 men down for Zeta Division, and the reward, the turtle.
They are trading it over, plus the 3 bodies that they've given away for that turret up top. 10 looking for the steal, does not get it. Instead, in some freak of nature accident, it's Fury, he takes it.
Unfortunately,
I mean,
doesn't have the Ogi Shadow kill to work with.
Yeah, he did spend it just about 15 seconds ago, but better that it was taken by Fury than by a random shuriken. At least it went to Influence Rage.
At least it went to them, yeah. So it's not too bad per se. It's currently 2:4, and the amount of gold is not tilting to anyone. It is relatively balanced. The gold for the side of Zeta Division is actually more towards the Gato Kacha for some reason. But down in the middle lane, Peace Game, it doesn't seem like he's in a good spot. Does he have the black shoes? No, he don't. Cheetah picks up yet another kill right on top of him, while June is completely all the way in. He's fully committing. But all he can do is just go and go and go.
It's sad. The Zeta Division committed to trading for that top lane tier 1, but apparently we didn't keep tabs on it. Muiminet didn't even get it down. All he was doing was wailing away at the gold shield turret. So that's why they were able to set at 15k, but now with a couple of kills here, and clearly that turret going down in the hands of Hotun, it's all Influence Rage. 10's in trouble.
Yeah, big trouble. He doesn't even have the Quad Shadows to work with, but surprisingly, 10 actually didn't receive a lot of damage from all of that, but he still went down. Zeta Division, they don't have that pincer attack working for them, as Paquito goes in, Tidal Strike, as well as an Army Slam right into the face of Biscay, bringing him down before he could even breathe. Kani is going to go up onto Paquito to go for a Avenging Frag, while June 1, he goes in, but he don't have got any escape mechanism, just walks himself away, and he will be fine.
Very similar to game number 2. Zeta Division are now playing the Influence Rage's tempo. Here comes Hotun!
Oh no! Chan with a feathered airstrike. He catches Muiminet at the final second, and even a kill onto June 1, as June was hoping to sacrifice himself to ensure Muiminet gets away.
The intent is very much appreciated. It's a thought that counts, but here, thoughts don't save you from the economic advantage of losing out on turrets, on a massive number of kills, and on major objectives like the turtle here. 7 minutes in, Zeta Division can't even think of smelling what the turtle smells like, because they're so far away. I hate to say it, look at this lineup. They're going to have to ube. This early on, they're going to have to ube.
There's not really much that they could work with at this point. They don't have that amount of gold enough to actually pop off. Piske has been caught off guard quite a lot of time, despite having a Purify as well as Black Shoes. The amount of damage output, I assume, is just not there.
No, the thing is, it's not reliable damage output. Sure, Chan deals more damage when he ults, but for Psuke, you have to have your opponent in a very specific spot. Paquito gets one more Tsunami Slam!
Goodbye to Kani once again. It is all about the pickoff game for Influence Rage to constantly get himself more advantage as time goes by. Hodun is a skilling jungler after all, and I'm pretty sure that he's happy with how the way the game is going right now.
Oh, more than happy. Stole away that gold crab. Tempest of Blades up into the skies, forcing a quad shadow away from 10. Paquito, he's playing as if his Tsunami Slam is off cooldown, but everybody knows it's not, but look at how scared they are.
And now the Tsunami Slam ropes June in, and all he can do is just fly up into the sky, and so will the 1-1. Surprisingly gets a kill. He's going to go next on the Fury. Blinkers, but Minette still managed to get a shutdown on the Fury. Backs a triple.
Oh, the turnaround. A silver lining, a ray of hope for Zeta Division as they push down bottom, but it's not enough to catch up to the speed of Influence Rage. Hotun escorts a wave up top as he takes down tier 2.
Right when we needed Mui Minette the most, he popped off and gave us a triple. The amount of gold that he has for now is definitely going to help him a little bit more in order to get himself to critical mass. But we still got time, right? There's still time. 9 minutes in, as long as Influence Rage don't get the upcoming Lord and just crash in onto the inhibitor turret, that's enough.
Easier said than done, Eugene. Easier said than done.
Easier said than done.
Influence Rage, that's the reason why Hotun set up that top lane, is because it's long lane. It's literally half the map across away from where the Lord is. So if Zeta Division want to contest, they have to take care of that lane first. And indeed they did. They sent Muimine to clear that. Now they're making a beeline to the Lord pit. It's a dance. Influence Rage taking their purple first, and then we'll see how Zeta Division come in to contest. There's a purple on 10 as well.
We're going to have to slowly wait for the time.
Oh, no, there's not. Oh, Influence Rage took everything. I didn't notice 10 was starved like that. They did him dirty.
10 doesn't have a single buff to himself. That is gonna be rough. Chun activates onto the Feather Aspect pretty darn early. Muiminet shoving the waves, and this is where Influence Rage tries to open themselves up a little bit, try to catch onto Muiminet, but to no avail.
Oh, Muiminet's using himself as bait. They're forcing a response away from the Lord Pit, away from everyone else. Because it's much easier for Zeta Division to bite back at Influence Rage if they're divided. You can't fight a united coalition like this from Influence Rage, and something tells me it's working, Abstract, because they dispersed. They're not bearing down on the Lord as hard as I expected them to.
Yep. Influence Rage could generally try to blitz down the Lord, especially with the winning lane up top previously. But oh, there's a lot of damage coming in from the Feather Airstrike. And to seal the deal, even with the Tsunami Slam, Kani just going to be walking himself in, allowing Piske to get himself more than enough space to win in that fight.
Oh!
Chino with only a sliver, but Mui Minette goes in for the shutdown on the Chan, but at the cost of his own life.
2 for 2 the trade. Mui Minette in June 1 for Chan and Paquito. If you stretch the math out a specific way, this might be a worthy trade. The fact that you took out Chan means there's no there's no artillery magic damage coming your way. Look at the burst coming in from this Farsa. Genius Wand this early on. Did you see? Look, if we bring up the damage charts,
He's probably top of the charts.
I would reckon Chan is like top 3 at least.
Definitely.
So this is a win in my book in that case, but there it is, number 2.
There we go. Ooh.
See, so
Fury has a lot of damage there.
I think if this was better planned out, maybe Zeta Division could have contested.
Yeah,
Lord over the Influence
Lord
Rage.
takes down the Lord, but in the meantime, the Feather Airstrike zones everyone else away, and ensuring the Zeta Division does not get anywhere closer. But it is going to be a none for 2 trade, so Influence Rage lost 2 for a Lord.
So this is all Influence Rage right now. Zeta Division, they took 2, yes, but these are 2 heroes that can afford to die. These are why they picked the Lapu-Lapu in the Kalia. They're made to be sandbags. They're made to be shields for the rest of Influence Rage. But with this Lord coming up, yeah, they won't be able to capitalize either. So this is a, what, sideways win for Zeta?
I would say that this is a win even... is it even a win for either side? Because Influence Rage, they have got the Beatrix, the skills over the late stages of the game, and so is a Ling, right? Ling is naturally always going to be like pos 1 jungler. You want to get him skilled up. You want him to get as much farm as possible.
What they call a funnel.
The funnel.
Yeah, it's a hypercore. So now you're looking at a lead for Muimine. What? About 300 gold between him and Fury. So he's the difference here. The key is Muimine only really presses Wind of Nature when he's fighting Fury, right?
Only Fury.
Yeah, I mean no,
maybe
Hotun too.
Hotun too.
But mostly Fury. Fury has to think of 10 as well. Oh!
And blasted into the oblivion. 10 could not even do anything when Pakitu just ran straight into the title strike.
He spotted that Shinobi. He wasn't hidden in the bush well enough. And that's a free pick off.
Oh,
an amazing read by Influence Rage. I mean, he'll be back for the Lord contest, that's for sure.
For sure.
They needed 10. They need to keep themselves scarce. They need to conserve every single kill, every single resource. Bodies, count, Suke, Black Shoes to save himself.
Takes 2 pot shots from the feathered airstrike, but it does seem like the bottom lane T3 will go down to the hands of Influence Rage. This is exactly what we want to see in order for them to get a little bit more to their name. But Muimined dancing with the Grim Reaper.
Oh, he already pressed his Wind of Nature. And Hotun is able to walk away with his Tempest of Blades, happy with that trade. For the first time, though, in what seems like, 5 minutes? 10 gets his purple. Finally, exactly.
Finally.
Like, woo!
There is a fighting chance now, then. However, he's not exactly the best when it comes down to his gold. I think that he was like, 2,000 behind of Hodun when it comes down to their gold. So, if you look at this, okay, it's no
More
longer...
than.
Yeah,
he's
it's
4
way more.
behind. He's
Oh.
4,000 behind.
This is rough on the Zeta.
I thought you were going to say this is wrong. Because it is. Like, what is that, 4,000? That's an item and a half.
Damn.
That's an item and a quarter if you're if you're looking at physical damage items, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the most expensive item being the Sword of Destruction, it's
a Blade of Despair
Despair
plus a Legion Sword. It's disgusting.
That's a lot.
The Zeta Division is in trouble, but you know what? There's a saying, it's not over till it's over. They can find a way back. Oh no!
And Muiminet pops off with that Wind of Nature. And that is also the Tempest of Blaze that has been used. But 10 is caught again! Oh, 10. He's not feeling it this game.
He's feeling something.
He's feeling something.
But it is not. Influence Rage. Raging away at the Lord, scoring their second major objective here. Not a single one for Zeta Division. I can't believe we're just looking at 15 minutes. I could have sworn this slaughter has been going on for much longer.
But I mean, to be fair, Influence Rage, they thrive in the late stages as well, having the Ling and a Beatrix. So as long as the game kind of drags on for them, I think that they have a very good fighting chance regardless. But it's more of that they gotta have to be real careful because Zeta Division, they're kind of playing down to the 50-50 thing. The moment they lose a team fight, a single walk down in bottom lane could have done something.
Especially in mid. If in mid, Zeta Division are able to defend, then maybe. But I think
maybe.
Best case scenario, Influence Rage just takes away your inhibitors. Worst case, it's over.
We do have the Lord that is just going to be marching down the bottom lane though, and Influence Rage is going to be filling up the entirety of the base up to the northern side, while Hodun is focused down in the middle lane with the Feather Airstrike just going to be popping right out with the Title Strike. He's hoping that he will be able to bring a little bit more, but unfortunately this is going to be June 1 all the way. The Menace at the back, he managed to deal a lot of damage over to the side of Fury, but they don't have enough damage to bring him down just yet. But this is a great defense from the side of Zeta Division.
Mind you, the rest of Zeta weren't even there. That was at best 4 of them. Muimine was not part of that engagement. So Zeta Division are playing with real firepower right now. Say what you will about the 6,000, 7,000 gold lead, but Zeta Division has it where it matters.
That's the defense that we needed for Zeta. The middle lane, like you talked about, we need that T3 in the middle lane in order for them to have a walk down in the middle. Ensure that they are able to take a little bit more pot shots off of this T1. That is most important.
And so far, they're making the most of that final bastion. Mid is where Zeta Division has hope. And rebellions are built on hope. Zeta Division is rebelling against the system. We know we're underdogs. We know that you have a better built MOBB ecosystem, but by God, we're here now in the wild card. We are ready to reintroduce Japanese MOBB to the world, and they're holding on. Eugene, they're holding on.
It's not over until it's over. Biscay loses his life to a Hoden just running right in his face, and he don't dare to use the black shoes because it's a little bit too timid. Not again. Not another one. Muiminet is just going to be hopping his way out of the fight, but unfortunately he already lost half of HP, but he bounces and he dances up into the air. Hoden all the way to the back, but Muiminet managed to find a kill down the Pakiru. The rest of the members from Zeta Division, they still have not lost anything since Biscay went down.
A significant amount of choice calls were made in that little pocket of the jungle. I could have sworn there was a finger on the trigger and Muimine's face down the barrel of a gun. Fury scope, it missed! By God, it missed! And now Zeta Division are still alive and they have a winning trade. I'll tell you now, any single non-core hero from Zeta Division for anyone in Influence Rage is a blessing for the Japanese squad. So they should pat themselves on the back. Like the fact that they didn't lose just yet is a way to get back in. But look at Hotun, oh no.
That choke point in the previous fight really felt as though that was like shooting fish in a barrel for Chan. It's such a small little space, having that feathered airstrike at all. But unfortunately, that's not going to be the game-ending play. Perhaps this one is.
Oh, this is risky. I don't know how Zeta Division is making this call that maybe we should dance, especially putting Muimine up that close to the pit. There's literally 3 sharks circling around him. And they are Latino sharks. The Influence Rage wants their marksman, man. They're going to have Muimine one way or another.
It's 19 minutes into this game. It is an evolved lot at that. And Influence Rage, they are not going to show too much of their cards right now. They definitely have someone in the pixel brush that they know about.
This is lethal. It's scary to think that a team that is so chaos-infused, that is just so high octane when they play this way, when they play methodically, it's scary. You know that they mean to finish a series this way.
They are serious at this point. You can't just throw bodies anymore. You know that there is definitely something, but here we go, not another one! When it comes down to Tsunami Slam connecting down to 10, this is a given, Lord. Once again, Pakiru, a menace.
And 10 is his quarry. For 5 times now in this 20-minute game, 10 was spotted vulnerable, and he was given the proper treatment you would any possible assassin. You just take him down. And now Zeta Division are staring down the 3rd Lord. I'm sure they defended 2 others prior to this, but now there's a 3rd Lord, and they find Hotun!
I don't think that they'll be able to do this, as Temple of Blades is going to be used to 2 blades right out of that. But now, yet another one of the Tsunami Slam! Well, we also do have the Feathered Aspect that's going to be working their way all the way through, but Muiminet joins into the battle. It doesn't seem like they will be able to send him flying up to the sky just yet, but this entire fight coming from Influence Reach, scattered like no tomorrow, while the Lord marches down from the top lane, ready to pillage everything that Zeta Division loves.
2 free kills. Zeta Division have 5 to defend with. If my numbers are correct, I don't think it's over just yet. I think Zeta Division are able to defend this.
I don't think that Influence Rage is going to try to go for this. I don't think that they will want to escort anything from this. The middle lane is not pushing in at all. They do have the high ground. They sniped June 1, but it's not going to be enough.
Again, it's not over till it's over. Zeta Division holding on. The arena applauses their efforts to defend. Again, the fact that there is so much against them, and they're still here. 10 has been playing like a utility Hayabusa. Where do you even see that? How do you reconcile that fact? He's juggling items. What is he building now? Queen's Wings? It looks like it, or is he rebuilding his war axe? What's going on with this Haya?
Or it could be a Sea Halberd. Does Sea Halberd uses this one? I know that he has attack speed.
Sea Halberd does not use the arrow.
Damn.
It does not use the bow. It doesn't need
the Sea Halberd.
It doesn't need the cooldown like that. But yeah, no. This is, at some point, it goes beyond even game skill now. Patience plays a very key role. The methodical approach to that last Lord down in the bottom here, in the lower quarter, is something that Zeta Division are slowly and constantly picking up on. So maybe they play this better. Maybe they attack the next Lord in the upper quarter better.
It's an endless battle. The final pickup coming from ZETA Division.
Was it an endless battle?
It's an endless battle.
Oh, I guess he just needed the extra cooldown, sold it, built an endless battle.
1:5:2. We just need one good fight coming from ZETA Division, and they can walk it right down the middle lane. The good thing is that they still have the T3, so we don't have a Mega Creeps that is going to stop ZETA Division.
Whoa. Moiminet's hiding himself. He's keeping himself scarce. And I don't think he was spotted there.
I think
He was. Now he knows the jig is up. All right, I'm just going to clear this anyways. And Influence Rage coming through. That's a good seal play by Paquito. All right, he lets it go.
Yeah, he still have the flicker as well, so everyone gonna have to keep on high alert for any of that potential play coming up.
Moimine just making a beeline to the fight. What is this? He's throwing all subtlety out the door.
This is a very aggressive play
Gino!
coming in! But hold on a second, Gino had to use his ultimate, and Chan also a defensive feathered airstrike.
Math checks out, 2 ults for 1. ZETA Division are in the best position they've ever been. Save for the map. I'll tell you now, the map is still against them, and they're sending Moimine to clear the waves. But cooldowns, you can't go around cooldowns, Abstract. Influence Rage have to wait for Chino and Chan to get their cooldown off their ult.
But ZETA Division themselves, I don't think that they're too confident in taking up the fight without Moiminet as well.
Yeah, it's such a small window. Never mind, it's back.
Yeah, it's back again. He have to go all the way down to clear that wave. They're not willing to play a little bit, they're not willing to play risky and allow the bottom lane to push right in. It is going to be the feathered airstrike just going to be popped, of course, to zone everyone else a little bit. Hodun takes a lot down. 10 unfortunately wasn't able to take that one. As Influence Rage realizes, okay, we want that one. We're just going to be rushed right in. But Hodun decided to march all the way down to the bottom lane.
Unfortunate, if my instincts tell me correct. Oh my God!
Oh no way!
Pops the immortality!
He has the Ogi Shadow kill as well. Oh, but then RNG!
All right. All right. Hotun's lives. But here's the thing. Moimine made a beeline for the fight, right? He totally skipped Hotun. Hotun was just walking in the brush, and Moimine skipped him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if that was as on purpose, like he was prioritizing killing 2 or 3 others in the backline, but they literally crossed paths like this.
Oh, damn.
And that's why Hotun ended up in the bottom lane inside the base.
Okay, that would explain a lot more. But, okay, this is probably it, right? Right?
It's gotta be. Unless there's something else.
Oh! The snipe! The double snipe on the Biscay as well as Moiminet. More than 1 minute onto the death timer. But unfortunately, it's Jun, it's 10, it's Kani. Everyone from ZETA Division has been wiped out, and Influence Rage takes the series.
A valiant effort by ZETA Division, reintroducing Japanese MLBB to the world. But in the end, MPL Latam's once favorite to take home the championship in Season 3, take the series all the way. Game 3 in